From difficult breakups to intrusions by the paparazzi, Owen Wilson has faced plenty of personal struggles when the cameras are off. Here's a closer look at the tragic events that shaped his life. Owen Wilson has had his share of struggles with depression as an adult, and it seems some of his issues might have begun during his childhood. According to Wilson, he had some dark fears as a kid, particularly surrounding the idea of his own mortality. He told Esquire in 2021, "As a kid, there's a lot of things that you think about. Death, that kind of landed with me when I was about 11. Wilson mostly kept his fears to himself and did not seek help from his parents, which had to weigh on him at such a formative age. And when he finally brought up how he was feeling to his father, he wasn't exactly reassured. He recalled to the outlet, "I do remember one time saying to my dad, and I remember exactly where in the house, saying, I worry about dying, and seeing my dad turn away and catch himself. But who knows, maybe that was part of why I said it."
I find myself kind of doing, taking more walks and things that, as a kid I didn't even get.
Wilson's childhood was not all gloom and doom. He did spend a lot of time with his brothers, Luke and Andrew, playing sports, watching TV, and even performing in plays they'd written themselves. But while he was having a good time and getting interested in activities that would later serve him as an actor, Wilson wasn't exactly a star student. He attended high school at St. Mark's, a well-regarded preparatory all-boys school in Dallas, where he regularly earned C's and D's. When Wilson was a sophomore, he and some friends managed to get their hands on the answers to a geometry test, and Wilson was able to ace it. According to the actor, it was this fact that likely caught the attention of the faculty, getting him expelled from school for cheating. But there was another reason Wilson was kicked out of the prestigious academy. He told Texas Monthly, "They wanted the name of a guy who cheated along with me, but I talked to my dad about it, and we didn't feel that was right." Wilson was subsequently sent to the New Mexico Military Institute, which proved a fateful move. His brother Luke told the Los Angeles Times, "It defined Owen in a way. He dealt with the adversity of getting expelled."
You don't end up at military school because you're acing every test.
And it was at his new school in Roswell, New Mexico, that Wilson met the friend who would later introduce him to Wes Anderson, with whom he went on to share a close friendship and collaborate on many film projects. Owen's nose is one of his most distinct physical features, and it got like that the hard way. Wilson broke his nose 2 separate times, resulting in that signature look. When he was a kid, he broke it once while playing roughhousing, he says, with some friends. The second time was while attending college at the University of Texas.
We were doing intramural flag football, and I got banged.
In 2000, Wilson got into a motorcycle accident on Thanksgiving. He was thrown off his bike and landed on his face. Luckily, the accident did not cause yet another nose fracture, but the actor did suffer from other less serious injuries to his face. In addition to having injured his nose several times, an experience that can be quite painful, Wilson has also gotten some unkind comments about the appearance of his nose. He told the Los Angeles Times he'd received comments like, "You look kind of odd, disfigured," which caught him off guard. But Wilson's own take on his appearance was self-deprecating. He said, "Probably my nose wouldn't have been that great even if it hadn't been broken." 2007 was a rough year for Owen Wilson. According to reports that the actor had attempted to take his own life, a 911 call was placed from Wilson's home in Santa Monica, California. It was later confirmed that Wilson's brother Luke had found the actor in time for him to be treated first at St. John's Hospital and then at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, where staff luckily deemed him to be in good condition. At the time, Wilson sought privacy, issuing the statement, "I respectfully ask that the media allow me to receive care and heal in private during this difficult time." Wilson has kept mum about the frightening incident over the years, which is understandable given the dark time he had gone through. His friends and family rallied around him, and the actor's brother Andrew stayed with him in his home and helped him get back on track. Andrew created little schedules for his brother in order to make his days more manageable, which eventually led to a greater feeling of well-being for Wilson.
The flip side of what's happened to Owen here is it's really brought attention to the subject of depression in the U.S.
In January 2011, Wilson welcomed his son Ford with his girlfriend at the time, Jade Duell. Wilson and Duell dated for a year before their son was born, but unfortunately the relationship couldn't stand the test of time. As a source shared with National Enquirer, Owen wanted the freedom to do what he wanted with his friends, both male and female, while remaining a family unit with Jade and the baby. Duell wasn't happy with that arrangement, which led to the pair breaking up when Ford was 6 months old. Sadly, the breakup caused Wilson to miss his son's christening, even though he was expected to attend. Whether it was tension with Duell or other issues, Wilson apparently backed out of going to the event at the very last minute, the source shared. Owen had every intention of being there, but when it came time to board his flight at Los Angeles Airport, he couldn't do it. He left the airport and drove around Santa Monica for hours. 3 years after the birth of his son Ford, Owen Wilson welcomed his second child, a son named Finn, with personal trainer Caroline Lindqvist. While Wilson did not remain in romantic relationships with either of his son's mothers, they all live near one another, and Wilson plays a big part in Ford and Finn's lives. However, Wilson has another child, a daughter named Lila, who was born in 2018, and he does not have a relationship with her at all. In fact, Wilson reportedly changed his phone number after finding out his ex-girlfriend Veronique Vangsvraets was pregnant with Lila. A source told Radar Online. When Veronique told Owen she was pregnant, he was not happy about it, and that was the last time they ever spoke. As of 2021, Wilson had yet to meet his daughter despite Vangsvraets pleading with him to be a part of Lila's life. Vangsvraets admitted that Wilson did help out financially, but that was where his contribution ended. She told the Daily Mail, "Lila needs a father. It's ironic how Owen keeps getting these father roles, and he's never met his own daughter." From 2006 until 2009, Wilson and fellow actor Kate Hudson had an on-again, off-again relationship that started off very sweetly but got pretty messy. The pair met while co-starring in the film You, Me, and Dupree and seemed to hit it off immediately. Wilson shared with E!
Kate is always laughing. I think that's why everybody kind of falls in love with her.
Wilson and Hudson were spotted at various places all over the globe in 2006, meeting up for dates in Australia and New York City and vacationing in Hawaii. But the honeymoon phase didn't last very long, and the pair called it quits in 2007. The breakup didn't last long, however, as the couple reunited months later, looking loved up at the 2008 Oscars and traveling to Miami to spend Hudson's 29th birthday together. They seemed like the perfect couple, and Wilson clearly thought so too. The next time they split in May 2008, it hit him hard, a source revealed to People. It was a pretty bad breakup. Owen said it was a tough one. He wants to put it behind him. Wilson and Hudson tried to make it work again in 2009, but by then it was clear they were better off as friends. In 2008, Wilson was a huge celebrity. He had starred in a slew of big films and dated Kate Hudson, who was also at the height of her fame at the time. Wilson's fame made him the target of paparazzi attention, which seemed to really rub him the wrong way. So much so that Wilson had gotten into several scuffles with photographers over having his picture taken when he wanted privacy. In March of that year, Wilson was at a party in South Beach, Florida, when photographer Manny Hernandez snapped a few shots of the actor jumping around in the pool. Wilson reportedly was not happy and took it out on Hernandez. Hernandez told Page 6, "Wilson charged at me and started screaming at me hysterically. A lot of friends and clients were there, and that looked so bad for me." A rep for Wilson fired back, claiming he was invited to the event and was promised there would be no media there. He didn't yell at anybody. Months later, in December, Wilson and his brother Andrew allegedly got into it with a different paparazzo, Clint Brewer. Brewer claimed he was pushed on a flight of stairs by Wilson, leading to a fight that injured Brewer. He then filed a lawsuit against the Wilson brothers, seeking $500,000. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, help is available. Call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.